Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. One quick thing, a bit of housekeeping I need to do here. Now, I want to go back to our phones, Focal Point AFR Talk. You want to join the program, 888-589-8840 on Free for All Friday. Let's go to Lynn in Moline, Illinois. Lynn, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Fisher.
Howdy.
Hey, I'm going to make you and the audience aware of something. Today I read on the internet where the Missouri Farm Bureau is going to reconsider their support of Mr. Todd Akin.
Yeah, and that's a true fact, Lynn. And the Missouri Farm Bureau, when they voted on whether to endorse Akin, he got 99% support before this dust up over his words erupted. 99% of the members of the Missouri Farm Bureau said, we want to endorse and support Todd Akin. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I thought about that. I'd never make a phone call like that before. I had a call. I had a call because I've been listening to your broadcast and all the stuff about Todd Akin, and I think the guy he just got a bad rep. And I'm going to back that up with a story that I'm going to share with you.
Hit me.
I called down there and I talked to the operator, and I said, I really need to talk to somebody higher above you. I'm going to paraphrase or give you the Reader's Digest version on this. And she said, well, the legislative committee is in a meeting, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, they're already deciding this. And I said, look, I got to talk to somebody, whoever. And she said, well, let's try the president. So I talked to his secretary, and I told her, I said, look, I'm calling from Illinois. I'm not even in Missouri. And I explained to her that I'd done a lot of research. I listened to radio programs. This guy said he's a real stand-up guy. If he was up in Illinois, I would vote for this guy hands down, and many people would. I said, this business about this legitimate rape, I said, I'm going to tell you a story. Now, this happened in my little community. We have 900 people. It's a rural community. It's a little speck in a cornfield. There was a man and a woman. They're married. They have a teenage daughter. The daughter wanted to go to a party. She was 15 years old, 14, 15 at the time. Well, Dad says, no, you're not going to go to this party. Well, the daughter felt that she's going to show who's the boss here. She calls 911 and accuses her father of raping her. This never happened. It never happened. This guy, he lost his job. His wife divorced him, lost his house.
Wow.
Went in debt with his brother, $35,000 trying to fight this, and he lost and he wound up in prison.
Oh, my
5 years later, this girl comes up and says, well, I kind of lied. It really didn't never happen.
Wow.
That, Brian, that's not a legitimate rape.
Absolutely
this guy,
right.
Todd Akin knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, and so you called the Missouri Farm Bureau and kind of let them, you just kind of shared with them your perspective on this. Now, there may be some other people in our listening audience that would want to do the same. They think that Todd Akin's getting kind of a raw deal here, and they would like to encourage the Missouri Farm Bureau to not to retract their endorsement. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I'm not even going to advise people to do it, but I'm guessing there's a lot of people in our listening audience that might like to do what you have done, Lynn, and kind of express their opinion to the Missouri Farm Bureau in a way that's kind and polite and all that, and courteous and all that. If they wanted to do that, Lynn, what number would they call?
Well, I will say that when I called the operator, she's very receptive. She said, we've gotten a few calls on that already. The number is 573 893 1400.
1400. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate that very much, Lynn. Thank you. Thank you for that. So if you would like to call the Missouri Farm Bureau and just urge them to maintain their endorsement of Todd Akin, not because I told you to do or asked you to do it, because you want to do it. This is just information I'm giving to you. Just saving you a step of looking this up in the phone book. You can call the Missouri Farm Bureau at 573-893-1400. 573-893-1400. That's the number for the Missouri Farm Bureau if you'd like to encourage them to maintain their endorsement for Todd Akin. And by the way, some great developments. You caught this when we were in D.C. Public policy polling came out with a poll yesterday. In their polling numbers, Claire McCaskill was still ahead of Todd Akin by 1 point. That's margin of error. That's a dead heat. And remember, a week ago, the poll, I don't know if it was Gallup or Rasmussen, somebody took a reputable poll, had Todd Akin down 10 points. He was down 48-38 because the shock waves of the controversy over what he had said. Now he's back to within 1 point. And a majority of everybody in Missouri wants Todd Akin to stay in the race. They don't think he should be pushed out. They don't want him pushed out. Public policy polling said, look, there is a major disconnect. That's the word they use, a disconnect between the GOP elites back in Washington, D.C., the party poobahs, the Karl Rove types, and the voters in Missouri. Family Research Council commissioned a poll that indicated that Todd Akin was up 45-42. He was back on top of Claire McCaskill by 3 points. So that race is a long way from being over. And you know that Claire McCaskill is spooked. I got an article here about how she is running as far away from Obama and as fast as she can. She's trying to get as far away from Obama at warp speed. She's on the Millennial Falcon going at warp speed to get as far away from President Obama as she possibly can. In fact, in her latest campaign commercial, she's the one that's running against Todd Akin, and this shows that she's still scared. She's not believing that this has handed the election to her. She's not believing that for 1 minute because she knows the level and the depth of Todd Akin's support. She knows the disastrous job she's done, her low approval ratings among the people in Missouri. So she's actually running against Barack Obama, if you can believe it. In her latest ad, she's contrasting herself with Barack Obama. The narrator in this commercial cites the number of times that McCaskill has opposed Obama as McCaskill continues to make her case to Missouri voters that she is a Missouri moderate. She wants to be known as a moderate and appeal to those mythical people that are in the middle. And here's what the ad says. Claire McCaskill has never been afraid to stand up to anyone, including the president, on cap and trade, anti-business regulations, and the Keystone pipeline. And again, that number, if you want to call the Missouri Farm Bureau, encourage them to maintain their support, their endorsement for Todd Akin, 573-893-1400, 573-893-1400. Karl Rove out there. Now, Karl Rove, remember, this guy is establishment Republican. He's out there making a joke about killing Todd Akin. He's at this high-powered fundraiser last night with a bunch of heavy-walleted guys, and he said this. He's laughing. He said it as a joke, but we know that Karl Rove can't stand Todd Akin. He wants him gone. He's been trying to push him off the train since this thing broke. He said this: we should sink Todd Akin. If he's found mysteriously murdered, don't look for my whereabouts. Now, he says this is supposed to be just kind of a joke. We should sink Todd Akin. If he's found mysteriously murdered, don't look for my whereabouts. Now, can you imagine if a Republican operative said that about Barack Obama and tried to pass it off as a joke? Hey, we should sink Barack Obama. If he's found mysteriously murdered, don't look for my whereabouts. So this is not a joking matter, and Karl Rove was out there making light of the whole thing. Now, I want to play a couple. Well, let's play the climax of Mitt Romney's speech last night. I thought it was kind of an okay speech. It was really a nothing burger. There was nothing really in it. But this is how he finished, and I'd be curious when we go into the next hour, kind of curious to get your reaction to what Romney said in his speech. But here is the close of his speech at the RNC last night. Let's listen.
Everywhere I go in America, there are monuments that list those who have given their lives for America. There's no mention of their race, their party affiliation, or what they did for a living. They lived and died under a single flag, fighting for a single purpose. They pledged allegiance to the United States of America. That America, that united America, can unleash an economy that will put Americans back to work, that will once again lead the world with innovation and productivity, and that will restore every father and mother's confidence that their children's future is brighter even than the past. That America, that united America, will preserve a military that's so strong no nation would ever dare to test it. That America, that united America will uphold the constellation of rights that were endowed by our Creator and codified in our Constitution. That united America will care for the poor and the sick, will honor and respect the elderly, and will give a helping hand to those in need. That America is the best within each of us. That America we want for our children. If I'm elected President of these United States, I will work with all my energy and soul to restore that America, to lift our eyes to a better future. That future is our destiny. That future is out there. It is waiting for us. Our children deserve it. Our nation depends on it. The peace and freedom of the world require it. And with your help, we will deliver it. Let us begin that future for America tonight.
Now, that's a pretty good finish, if you ask me. And I'll tell you, clearly, you've got a distinct contrast. People seem to interpret something I said this week as if I was saying nobody should vote for Mitt Romney. Never said that. Wouldn't say that. Clearly, Mitt Romney is outlining a vastly different future for America than Barack Obama. The choice between the two of them seems very clear between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. Focal Point, AFR Talk. Be right back after the news.